Welcome, greetings and salutations. This is the Fort Valley Boys podcast. I'm your host and moderator, Fabian Beats. I got Brown Derby and Damon Randall. What's the
Brown
business?
Derby Kid Money. Let me hear you yeek.
Let me hear you holler, holler.
Shake that thing now. Holla, holla.
Shake that thing. Walla, shake that thing. On tonight's episode, we're talking about some NFL. Jimmy G out, Joe Burrow in, Von Miller done for the year. Also bring us some NBA. Talk about AD's hot streak he's had for the last 10, 11 games. But of course, this is the part of the show I say, let's go.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Boys, yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys.
Of course, this is the Fort Valley Boys. Of course, we are presented by Just For Men. Got a little gray in your beard. Go and get that 23E746. The blackout.
This dude's so stupid, man.
We're also sponsored by Sprite, the Black Folk Soda. We're also brought to you by Damon's new sponsor, Arizona Tea. 1999 to 2022 has always been 99 cents. Still is. Even during the pandemic, 99 cents. Of course, you can follow us on Sundays and Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. Follow us on Facebook, Fort Valley Boys Podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Fort Valley Boys Podcast, BuyANightShirt.com. You got any, if you're at the HBCU or you are part of the Divine Nine, get your merch at BuyANightShirt.com. And of course, the Space, our sponsor, our favorite one, Hennessy. The dog look. How was y'all week, guys?
Oh, can't complain this way, big fade. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
I've had some good days. I've had hills to climb. My bad, Faith. I've had some weary days.
But you won't complain.
I won't complain. My bad, Faith. David. Save us.
You're the stupid face.
David.
I have no comment. I have no comment.
It's been going on since 1994, Faye. 1994.
As for those that are watching the show, make sure you go to our YouTube page, Fort Valley Boys Podcast. Like, subscribe to the page. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we can start monetizing, making us a side hustle. So go ahead and like the page, watch the page, share the page, tell your friends, family, tell your auntie, tell your uncles, tell everybody about the page, so we can, this is just a grassroots effort on something that we talk about every day and we argue about it. I want to talk about the NFL. I want to talk about this hot news with Von Miller. He actually did tear his ACL. He's out for the year, of course. Mike, how much of a hit is this for Buffalo and their Super Bowl ambitions?
I think it's a hit, but I also think, man, that Buffalo's offense is so good. They can win games with Allen and Diggs and all them guys, man. Von Miller brings championship pedigree to them, but they can still win and make it without him too. That's my thoughts.
What about you, D. Rama?
I agree with Mr. Atwater. The one thing I will say, Mike, Von Miller when they was rolling and he was a healthy, vital call, that defense was stellar. And it takes a hit. Wherever Von Miller went, whether it be Denver, whether it be the Rams, his pass rushing ability was his best attribute, and he was like a beast. He was a beast with Buffalo. He was that guy. So I still believe they can win it. The offense, remember, Josh Allen is still dealing with that elbow injury. And that may, you could still defense travel. I say this all the time, defense travel. Your defense is decent. You got a chance to win it all. And when you lose a piece like Von, it hurts. It's detrimental. It's detrimental. I still think they can go to Super Bowl. The thing is, if it's them in Kansas City, it's gonna be it hurts. Vaughn is that guy. He still had that speed coming off the edge. It's hurtful. Now, Faye, question: did they find out his ACL was torn when they was doing like a exploratory surgery, or it was known?
I know they were trying to let the swelling go down because he injured the Thanksgiving Day, so they wanted the swelling to go down before they did the exploratory. When they did it, they saw the ACL was torn.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same knee where he tore it a couple years ago, but
I think it's the other one. I don't know though. Don't give me the line.
Yeah, that means he's gonna be a good casualty in a couple years, as far as
yeah, exactly. After this, even if it was the same knee fade, he probably got 2-3 years max, and he done. I think.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but I think if I wanted to win a championship, this is coming from my mouth right here. Mike's gonna have a heart attack when I say this. I would have just went ahead and took the hometown discount. Go to Dallas.
Go where? I didn't hear you.
Go to Dallas.
Why you say that so low though, Faye? Could you speak a little higher? Could you get your voice a little higher with that? Say it again, please.
Go to Dallas.
Okay, that's better. That's better.
They probably have the best. To be honest with you, they have the best medical staff, bar none. I think in the NFL they have the best.
T Miles, I agree with T Miles. What up, T Miles? Shout out to T Miles jumping on. I think it is over, man. I think Von. I think this surgery might have took his career, man.
Yeah, and he's over.
Maybe a year, maybe it depends on how he rehab. But they said the same thing about Adrian Peterson. He came back. He came strong.
Won MVP that year.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson did his thing, so you never know.
Peterson.
Tony Miles, I have a bigger plan. Just sign everybody. Just Dallas. They could. He should have went to Dallas. They're probably undefeated if he went to Dallas. But they still have a good record, 9-3.
I know. Hey, I know T Miles might jump on my case about this, but he could have helped Bosa out in San Fran.
Man, they don't need no help out there.
No.
Y'all think Dallas defense good. 49ers, and I know we about to talk about it in a minute. 49ers, I think, can win it all with that defense. Now, some people talking about Jimmy G out and all that. The rookie quarterback, Purdy, do you know he threw the thing 37 times the other day? If you want a quarterback to be just the driver of the band, you don't let him throw it 37 times. That's a sign right there that they got confidence in Purdy to win out there in San Francisco.
Also a sign that they got confidence in that defense. They feel like the defense can really take them where they need to go. And quite frankly, I believe it. That defense is stellar, bro. That defense out in San Francisco is scary.
Yeah, number one in points against. I believe they're number one against in the rush defense, top 5 in yards allowed. So,
and I keep saying this: defense travels, bro. Defense travels.
That's a great segue to talk about the 49ers. Brock Purdy, who was Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft, he is going to be their starting quarterback for the foreseeable future. Jimmy G broke his foot on Sunday in the first quarter, but he does not need surgery. So the 49ers make a run, like to the divisional playoffs at least. Jimmy G will be eligible to come back.
They say it was a Liz Frank injury.
No, it's not a Liz Frank. With Liz Frank, he won't be able to come back.
Oh, okay.
If it was Liz Frank, he'll be done, and then he'll be taking the minimum next year, trying to find a team, probably the Colts or maybe Carolina, depending on who the coach is going to be. But let me ask you this: if let's say 49ers, of course, I think they're still going to win the division, but Seattle's going to give them a run for their money. If Jimmy G is healthy and Brock Purdy's playing solid, do you leave in Brock Purdy, Damon?
I think I will leave in Brock Purdy. I actually think I would because, I mean, Mike said it. He's slain the pill 37 times. So they do have confidence in him. I don't know if they really have confidence in Jimmy G like that. I mean, T. Miles is our resident, along with Tiny Head, our resident 49er fans. I see he got big trust in him. I'm with T. Miles. Why take him out? Your defense is gonna keep you in every game you in. So if Purdy is playing well, I wouldn't take him out and put Jimmy G in. It's not like you putting Dak in the game. You know what I mean? And I ain't throwing no shade, Mike. I'm just saying, you gonna take the backup quarterback out to get Dak in. You know what I mean? I just believe that Purdy is playing well enough to where he can lead them, and that defense, they can go to the Super Bowl and win it.
Yeah, San Francisco, man, with the way they play defense, they definitely got a running game now with McCaffrey. You got an all-around dude with Deebo Samuel. They got enough to win it all. And in actuality, I think it's possibly, I would say seven teams that I think can win the Super Bowl. You've got Dallas, Minnesota, Philly, San Francisco, Cincinnati, Buffalo, Kansas City. One of them 7 teams gonna win it all.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if I had to throw in an 18, if you had to twist my arm really badly, Minnesota there for it, because Detroit is actually favored in that game this weekend against Minnesota. So I don't know what Vegas is doing, but Vegas is really wrong.
Vegas knows something we don't. And
Yeah, they know.
I mean, Detroit been playing some ball, man.
That's one.
I agree.
That's one. But number 2 is what Fave said before the end. They believe that Kirk Cousins and Minnesota is fraudulent. And you watch some of the game. If you watch Minnesota play, it's been a couple times I actually got a chance to see them actually play. They seem to go away from Dalvin Cook a lot, especially when he hot. When he running the ball effectively, they want to do passing and all this. When Dalvin Cook, I know you don't want to get him hurt. I know he has health issues. But when he's able to run the field, he's one of the premier running backs in the league, man. And they seem to go away from him when he's running the ball effectively. So Vegas knows something we don't, and I actually trust Vegas on this one, because I mean, that's one of the more fraudulent 10-2 teams that we've seen in years.
Like the Steelers a couple of years ago during the pandemic era.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But when you look at Minnesota, look at their head coach, where he was the offensive coordinator at San Francisco, where they want to go away from the running game and throw the ball. The same MO with Stafford and Cup, Jefferson and old boy Cousins. So it's the same game plan. So Adam Thielen is a shell of himself because he's been injured the last 3 years. So he doesn't seem like what he was when Diggs was there to me. So if I'm Minnesota, I'm looking at possibly moving on from Thielen and getting a receiver, but that's down the line right now. I wouldn't worry about that.
They did. It was smart because they are actually using them. It was a smart trade to get Hockenson. They actually are using Hockenson. Mm-hmm. That was a smart pickup for them. But you're right. With Thielen, you pick up Hockenson, a really good pass catching tight end, but Thielen is going down. So now you need another receiver to complement Jefferson and Cook. So that's why I feel like I really think a lot of the NFL teams think that Minnesota has been lucky, yet they're fraudulent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
We're going to go from fraudulent to are they for real? The Cincinnati Bengals, they have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 3 times in 1 year. 3 times. Is this just all 3 games have been decided by a combined 9 points? So it's not like the Cincinnati Bengals are blowing them out. Do the Bengals have their number, or is it just dumb luck that they beat them 3 times in 1 calendar year, Damon?
I actually think they got their number. I really do. I can't think of their defensive coordinator's name right now. His name escapes.
Lou Camarillo.
He has a heck of a game plan in Kansas City. And then, like, when healthy, you looking at Boyd, Chase, Higgins, Burrow,
Mixon. Hurst,
P. Ryan.
P.
Yeah,
Ryan.
you got P. Ryan. You got an offense that can pound the peel, excuse me, and pass it. So you got a complete offense. And then Camarillo got that defense. I call them the no-name defense. Them boys come to they play. So you looking at a young gunslinger and Joe Burrow. He's proven why he was a Heisman winner going against Mahomes, and it's like they seem like they got Mahomes number these last 3 games. They know what to do. They know how to operate. And remember, last year he had Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, and they beat him. So it's like Camarillo has their number. I think it's actually for real. And if they stay hot like this, they can challenge for the Super Bowl. They can win it.
Now, before Mike jump in, let's keep in mind now they rebuilt the offensive line. They were shaky the first 5-6 weeks of the season, and that's because Joe was out, and they didn't want to. You know, these teams now are just doing joint practices and not actually having them play in the preseason, and they're using the regular season as a preseason, which is why Joe Burrow threw 6 picks in the first 2 games or whatever. Plus, he was out with an appendectomy, so he basically lost weight. He had to get back in conditioning too, but. They rebuilt literally that entire offensive line, and they needed time to gel and get right. So that's probably where you see a bigger difference, where Joe actually has time to throw the ball, and you can see the running game actually being a complement to their passing game. And one other thing, I know Mike probably going to bring this, talk about this a little bit too. The Cincinnati Bengals have the best trio of wide receivers in the NFL, hands down.
Oh yeah,
no argument. And Kansas City has not had a defense. I want to say since Derek Thomas, maybe Dick Vermeil when he coached them.
That's because Dick Vermeil had brought in. That's because he coached Vermeil had real good defensive-minded specialists when he played. He had the players, and he knew he had to. I can't think of their names either right now. My mind going blank. But Dick Vermeil had he had the perfect coaches around him, and that was back in the time Mike Fade, where 3 yards in the cloud of dust literally meant that. You had a defense, you know what I'm saying? Them boy, it wasn't like as pass happy as it is now. Back then, that's when Favre and you had Marino, and you had those type of cats that really threw the peel. But you can name on one hand who was the real pass-happy quarterbacks. Now, all of them can go. You know what I mean? They dual threat. They all can get rid of that ball. You can't really – defensive backs can't be as grabby and you can't do all that. You can't mug a receiver. That's why I respect Dan Marino's 5,000 yards, because he did it when they could mug a receiver.
Mike, is Cincinnati a real deal for return trip to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Cincinnati one of the Super 7 that I call teams that can win it all. So yeah. And if you think about them 7 teams, they got great or decent quarterbacks on all 7 of them teams. And if you got a good quarterback, you got a chance in every game, every night.
All right, let me bring up Lamar Jackson right quick. He has a strained PCL ligament in his knee. He's out from anywhere between day to day to 3 weeks right now. And we saw this last year with Lamar going out with with that high ankle sprain. He was out for the rest of the year. They was number one in the in the conference, and they went 0-5 in the last 5 games. Tyler Huntley is a very good backup. I'm surprised they didn't try to trade him to anywhere else to get some value for him, but they knew Lamar probably wouldn't get hurt, and they saved him. Do you think Huntley can hold it down at least for the next 2 weeks until Lamar gets right, Michael?
Yeah. They're just gonna run the football. They're gonna be a predominantly run football team, which they already run the ball like that anyway. But they play good defense and run the football.
What say you, Damon?
Yeah. As long as Huntley don't turn the ball over, Mike is right. They're gonna just run the peel. They're gonna run it, occasional play action pass here or there, and sit back and see what they did. See if their defense can hold everybody, and that would be the formula until Lamar get back. But let me ask y'all boys a question. With this injury and Lamar betting on himself, if you're Baltimore, would you just franchise him a year, or would you offer him that contract?
Man, pay that, man.
Just, if I'm me on the sideline, pay him. But if I'm Baltimore, they're gonna do the exclusive tag on him again. Then they have to decide, do they want to give him the money or let him walk for free?
See, I would fade Mike. I think I would franchise him one more year. I think because this has been a year where, do you really think he proved himself? He lost a few leads, crucial interceptions when they had the lead. I wouldn't, if I'm looking at, I say, okay, let me see. I don't know if I want to pay you all this money. You coming off another somewhat strange injury to your knee. You kind of regressed in passing the ball. Because of you, it was a few turnovers we lost. I don't know if I can just pay him like that. I franchise him 1 year, you get that $25 million.
No, he already franchised this year. He's gonna go up to about 40.
So I'll franchise him and pay him the 40. Because I don't know if I'm Hey, you talking about paying him 40 for the next 5 years? I don't know if I want to do that. And I love Lamar. It's not him, the player. It seems to me that his passing has regressed a little bit, and now them injuries are starting to pile up because he's getting older.
Is the regression because Baltimore's being jackasses about not getting him receivers? Because look at what look what Buffalo did. They got Stephon Diggs and Allen has taken off. You got Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown. He's probably going to be the front. He's the front runner for MVP right now. Just me. He's the front runner. And you look at Patrick Mahomes. He's doing more, be honest with you, with less, because you got a third string receiver in Valdez-Scantling. You got a second string receiver in Juju Smith-Schuster, who likes to TikTok more than he'd like to play. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I sound like Stephen A. Smith. I'm sorry. They are more versatile on offense, but they're not as explosive. They can beat you a multitude of ways, but they're not explosive like Tyreek Hill. Get you 3 60-yard touchdown catches in a quarter and anything like that. They're just gonna hit you down the field. Man, Anatole, what?
You seen that? That's what I was looking at.
Really? Haircut look like an Afro NFA. They call it afraid. Really?
Man, this dude here, man.
That's what I was looking at, home.
God, dog.
Just because your birthday, I'm gonna let that slide today. It's your birthday today, old man. I'm gonna let you slide.
Happy birthday, Anatole.
That shot producer that's crying me in the chat.
Happy birthday, big dog.
So I'm gonna let that slide because of your birthday. But I don't think I'm gonna get to the last NFL top before we shift to the NBA, because it's about time to start talking to NBA. I'm gonna bring up Mike's team, Dallas Cowboys. It was a close game, 21-19, going to the fourth quarter, and then life happened. They scored 33-0 in the fourth quarter. I don't know what happened to the Colts. They were close, and then Jeff Saturday just looked like he was done. He's like, man, what to look at? What to look at? I want to ask about the Colts. Of course, I know what y'all answer is. This is a 2-part question. Did they make a mistake with placing Jeff Saturday as the interim? And should they just go ahead and bench Matt Ryan? Michael.
It don't matter who coaching the coach. They're just a bad football team. It wouldn't matter if it was Jeff Saturday or whoever it was. They're just a bad team. Then secondly, benching Matt Ryan, what you got coming off the bench? That's the next thing, because technically with them being 4-8-1, I think that's their record, or 4-7-1. Tennessee ain't playing the greatest. You still got an outside slim chance to get in there. Now Tennessee gonna have to lose a couple of games, which that's possible. But it don't matter who coaching them. They just ain't got it, or Dallas just really that good. And I think it's more Indianapolis than Dallas.
Yeah, your boy Michael Irvin was.
I don't know. Contrary move for I don't know about that, Mike. I don't know about that. I would say Dallas was just that freaking good. I know Indianapolis is bad. It's a bad team. It's that's established. Having said that, Dallas may be just that good. I mean, they may be just that good. You got two cats. I know Zeke is a little older, but you still got another running back that's running the ball well. CeeDee Lamb. Your defense is real good. Dak seemed to work the rust off. I got to get, and I am not a Cowboy fan, Mike, and you know that. I get credit where credit is due. I'm a realist. Though Dallas just may be that good. We know Indy is that bad. Dallas just might be that good, man.
Yeah, Keyshawn's put him in the in his key rankings, number one, and got Philadelphia 3 with 1 loss, but Keyshawn acting like he won the Super. I'm sounding like Stephen A. Smith. I'm sorry. JC Hill, part of the Yeek Club.
Just saying that, yeah. 94. What up, boy? What up, Corey? Shout out to the fellas coming in.
Yeek face. What about you, Dan? You think they? I know you.
I think they did make a mistake hiring Saturday. I know he take it as all I can hear is the interview he did where he say I'm gonna be competitive, and if I walk away, by the end of the year, if they don't want me back, I won't be back. That's fine. No offense, Jeff Saturday was a hell of a player. Can't take that from him. Won a Super Bowl. I get it. No offense to Mr. Saturday. He probably forgot more football than I know. I just don't think he was the right hire, man. I don't think he was the right guy. That's Jim Irsay patting his mans on the back and saying, you know what, I'd rather you do it than I go hire somebody else. You go ahead down there. I know you can do it. No offense. I just don't think he was the right guy. And with Matty Ice, I'm with Mike. Who coming behind him? Let him go get the year out. And if you want to cut him or release him or do that, finish the year, bro. Let him go and finish the year. Who you gonna put in behind him? Whoever you put in behind him, I don't know it's gonna make a difference in wins and losses. It's not gonna make a difference.
Ronaldo Solomon.
There you go.
Jinx.
There you go.
Look here, Colts. We hate LeBron, and we're gonna run the ball. Tenders.
Better not freaking speak to me.
That's freaking him.
Fucker. But
I'm my boy Jinx, man. Crazy. Got my nigga though.
Yeah, that's our NFL talk. We're gonna go ahead and switch to the NBA, which is brought to you by Uber. AD has been on a hot streak. He has averaged over 30 points and 15 rebounds over the last 11 games. Cleveland lost last night, but he had flu like symptoms. He didn't play the whole game. LeBron did LeBron things, but they still lost with Donovan Mitchell with 43 points last night. Let me ask this. I'm going to talk about Cleveland first before we talk about Lakers actually going 9-3 the last 12 games. Can Cleveland actually go over the hump with Donovan Mitchell, who has to me, I want to see more from Donovan Mitchell. The bubble was the bubble, but he hasn't been to the second round. Only been to the second round of the playoffs once when they were number 1 seed and got knocked out without Kawhi Leonard. Can Cleveland actually do something in the Eastern Conference, guys? We'll start with you, Damon.
I think so, Faye. You added Spider Mitchell to a team that had Garland, Mobley, what's the other cat name?
Garland, Mobley, Jared Allen.
Jared Allen. You got a 3-headed monster. And let's just be honest. it's a tad a scotch easier over here for Donovan Mitchell in the East than it was in the West. Just in my opinion, and the team he played on Utah. So you got a young backcourt with him and Garland. Allen, Mobley is an up and coming center who he's a stud mopping. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like, yeah, they actually could do some things in the East with Donovan Mitchell playing in Cleveland. I think so. I really he come to play. He good. Shout out to Detroit for not drafting him. Dang.
He a what?
He a stud. He's a stud muffin.
Stud.
Big double done stud muffin.
Michael.
I mean, man, the East NBA in general, man, is like 3, 4, 5 years ago, you pretty much knew it was going to be Cleveland, Golden State in the finals. Everybody knew that. We knew at the beginning of the season, Cleveland, Golden State. Now, you don't have a clue who's going to be in the finals. But it's so much parity in the league. And, you know, Cleveland coming out the East, Cleveland might not even get a top 4. They might not even be a top 4 seed. Philly, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Brooklyn. I mean, the NBA is tough to kind of gauge now, man, on somebody gonna win the championship. And y'all know I'm right about that. Y'all know 4 or 5 years ago, Golden State and Cleveland was at the peak of what they going on. Y'all we knew at the beginning of the season it was gonna be Golden State and Cleveland. Do you know right off the top of your head right now who is going to be in the final? You don't know.
Because it's still early. You don't know.
It ain't necessarily early. I mean,
so.
we knew 5 years ago, Damon, with Golden State and Cleveland, who was going to be in the final. It wasn't no hesitation.
You bring up a great point. That's true. But even back then, a lot of it was, you know, a lot of people don't pay attention to basketball till around Christmas. So what we doing was we guesstimating, especially now that the East is strong, but you don't have that definitive team. You may have some that you're gonna say, okay, they're in the top 4. But then the one team like Cleveland can get hot and dethrone one of them top 4 teams. So you really can't say right now, because I feel like it's early. You got some key injuries out there that, you know, and some cats that's sitting with little aches and pains in their knee or stuff like that. So you can start, in my opinion, gauging the NBA right around Christmas. It's like same with college basketball. You really don't pay no attention until January. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. All-Star break, that's when you look at like, oh man, yeah, it's definitely gonna be Cleveland. We said it at the beginning of the year, it's definitely gonna be them. You know, or back in the day, you knew Mike and them was getting ready. They was on autopilot to the All-Star break. So I look at it. Christmas is when you start paying attention, and around the All-Star break is when you see who gonna do what for real. Because now you got half the season in your pocket, and you can look at the teams in the league after a half a season and say, okay, I'm scared of this team, I'm scared of this team, I'm scared of this team for real. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, Cleveland's ranked is 3rd in the East right now behind Celtics and the Bucks, and Celtics are on a whole nother level with Joe Mazzulla. It's like clockwork. Nothing's changed except Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are more explosive this year.
Man, that's a dangerous duo, bro.
And efficient. Keep in mind, they're more efficient this year. I just want to see if Jaylen Brown can dribble in the finals. That's the main thing. Has he improved his dribbling? Because that's what beyond which beside that and Jason Tatum not.
Well, if we can do that, they definitely headed to the NBA finals for real. If Jaylen Brown can control his ball handling, like you saying, they definitely headed to the NBA final, bro. I don't. Tatum is scary. He's super freaking scary. He's an all-around player. That guy's a walking basket, and he don't mind going to the cup doing anything. Brown can score. Then he's a defensive specialist. And then Marcus Smart is the defensive specialist. It's going Boston is woo.
I think I asked this a couple weeks ago. Was Jaylen Brown the best two-way player in the NBA
No.
right now? Still Kawhi, you think, or Giannis?
When healthy, yeah.
All right, so quick update on standings. The Celtics, Bucks, Cavaliers, and the Hawks are fourth. Hawks are right now losing by 25 to the Knicks. Pacers are actually fifth. The Pacers actually have a good team. They have a fun team to watch. Nets, 76ers, and Raptors round out the top 8, and then the Knicks and the Wizards. Knicks, Wizards, and the Heat. Heat at 11. That's shocking. But Jimmy Butler's missed 7 out of the last 9 games with a knee injury. It seems like he has a chronic injury with his knee for the last couple of years. So that's been an issue. On the Western Conference, let's look at the Western Conference. The Suns are on top of the Western Conference, 16-8, with Chris Paul coming back tonight. I guess the rumor is him and Kim Kardashian are dating now.
Who?
I think that's a rumor. Him and Kim Kardashian dating.
Oh man, them Kardashians, man, y'all gonna learn about them.
I don't know.
They are known for ruining
Real
careers.
hurt, boy.
No, I don't know if that's true though. That's just a rumor because Kanye said something stupid. So
Hey, we need to pray for Kanye, bro. Did you see that interview he did with that black mask on?
no.
Need to pray for that young man, man. And I know he mad at the world. I know a lot of stuff he feel slighted on, but come on, dog.
But yeah, the Suns are first. Pelicans are second. The Pelicans. I had to look at that again. I thought it was the Grizzlies. I'm like,
Pelicans pretty tough, man.
Yeah, Willie Green's coaching them up. Grizzlies are third. Kings are
My boy
fourth.
from Detroit, man.
Yeah.
Willie Green.
The Kings are fourth, man. The Kings. Mike Brown actually doing some work. Nuggets are fifth. Clippers are sixth. And Mavericks, Blazers, Jazz, and Warriors round out the top 10 for those 7 through 10 for the playing games. Then Timberwolves.
Anatole say they not dating, man. Beware of a Kardashian. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't think they were dating. I think Kanye just went off the rails on that one. I'm trying to figure out. I thought Chris Paul was married, but I guess
He is married.
So yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So how does
He
that?
is married.
So
Corey, you bring up a good point, bro. That point, Corey, he was talking to Atwater. That's a good point. That's actually a good point.
yeah, Boston,
Anything
Milwaukee.
is possible. He right.
Yeah, Boston, and Milwaukee are the cream of the crop in the East, and I think when healthy, I think Milwaukee has a little bit more than Boston, especially with coaching. Coach Bud is a championship coach, and even though he was maligned in Atlanta, he showed us up, showed his mental toughness and his coaching prowess in the series against the Suns. Plus, they helped that CP3 was hurt too, which is that's all we're waiting for. I'm not wishing injury on anybody, but that's just where.
Hey, Mike, I seen the look on your face. I'm laughing, but hey, I'm gonna be honest. The last few years, Fave said that. I'm just waiting on the injury. I'll be dang on if it didn't happen. So you can't really say Fave be wrong, man.
Dude, crazy, man.
You can't say Fave be wrong though, because he nailed it the last 2-3 years. I'm just waiting on Chris Paul to get hurt. I be doggone that man get hurt.
But Chris Paul been out a month too.
Yeah. Just like I said, Georgia gonna win by double digits in the final. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah, Faye. Just like I made the comment to say Stetson Bennett gonna get invited to New York early in the season. You and Ratio laughed at me.
Yeah, the dead clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, well, it's right. It's right there this time, and it's twice a day too.
But
I'm actually not mad that he got invited though.
who else is there to invite though? I mean
it's 4 quarterbacks. I asked Mike this the other day, Faye, and Anatole, Corey, y'all on here. I'm gonna ask y'all: is it over for running backs to win the Heisman now? Will you ever see another running back win the Heisman unless he rushed for 3,000 yards and 84 touchdowns?
Because
Is the day of the running back winning the Heisman over?
Yeah, Anatole texts me every day for stats for Heisman for the Heisman. Corey said no. Of course, Devontae Smith won it a couple years ago. He's the first receiver to win it since since Desmond Howard, 91. Then Charles Woodson won in 97. I think
I don't know. I think that I don't know the way NFL. What you think, Mike? You ever think you see another running back win the Heisman?
Yeah.
I know you was a big guy. You was a big fan for Corn. If Corn didn't get hurt,
yeah, he would have been invited. He would have been invited.
I think he would have been invited. But do you? I don't know if he'd have won it. He would probably been invited, but I don't think he'd have won it because Caleb Williams and for that matter, C.J. Stroud put up video game numbers.
Now, let me put this in. Yeah, Tim Brown won in the 87 Anatole, but Desmond Howard won in the 91.
Mm-hmm.
Because he struck the poles on Ohio State when he returned the punt. Peter Ward won in 2000. Peter Ward won in 2000.
Damn, I forgot about that dude was Mr. Excitement, boy. Goodness gracious.
Reggie Bush won in 05, the year the season they should have beat Texas, but Vince Young had some say on that. I'm trying to think who. It's been pretty much a quarterback award, except for Devontae Smith and a couple of other folks. Pete didn't win it. We'll look it up. I thought Peter Ward won the Heisman.
He was exciting, boy. Woo!
Chris Winkie won it, not Peter Ward.
Yeah, Chris Winkie.
He wanted the year. They wanted.
Chris Winkie won.
He wanted the year Oklahoma beat them 14. I think it was 14-2 in the championship game.
Yeah, that man, Peter Ward, man, Corey, that dude was amazing. I'm gonna tell you the two most electrifying players to me that I ever got a chance to just sit and watch was Peter Ward and Michael freaking Vick.
Peter Ward, you said Peter Ward didn't win no Heisman?
No, I didn't say that. I said the most.
So I'm trying to fight.
Yeah, I thought he won it. I thought he won it.
Chris Winkie won it the year they played Michael Vick in the championship.
He didn't win it that year. He won it the next year when they lost to Oklahoma to Josh Heupel.
Winkie.
I'll look it up though, but I could, unless he won it back to back.
No, he didn't win it back to back. You the only one who won it back to back is Archie Smith from Ohio State.
Archie Griffin.
Yeah, Archie Griffin. My bad. I thought, but not if not if Mike said it. Yeah, the last Florida State guy to win it besides who was that? Was that James? Was Chris Winkie, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2000. This year they lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Ron Dane won it that year, 99. The year
right,
won championship. Then Ricky
right, Ron Dane won it.
Charles Woodson, and
but the last running back to win it was Henry, right?
Derrick Henry was last. Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's because there's 4 quarterbacks that was invited this year, and next year it's probably gonna be the same because Drake May definitely gonna be invited. He put up numbers. He gonna be invited. Might be the number 1 pick in the draft next year.
Yeah, if you don't go from also Mark Ingram won it in 2009.
Right. Well, I mean, the last 2 running backs came from Bama that won it.
That's what Anatole was talking about. What depends on what school you went to. If you go to Alabama, Michigan, somewhere like that, you're gonna win it. You're gonna win the Heisman if you run for a while.
I will say this: Donovan Edwards ran for the last 2 games 401 yards. If Blake would have had that with them 4 touchdowns, that would have gave him 1,800 some odd yards.
He would have won it
and 20 touchdowns.
He would have won it. He's on an undefeated team.
Won it. Mike brought up a good point when we was talking the other day. If he put up them numbers, he would have got invited and probably would have won.
He would have won.
And Michigan 13-0. That probably would have helped them right there.
Because their offense is run centric. So
yep.
I mean,
yep.
But yeah, looking at the Heisman list, like these some names blast from the past of some of these names right here. Eric Crouch, Nebraska.
Ooh.
Carson Palmer.
Well, that boy went back then.
Yes, he did. But Eric Crouch won that for his career. That year he won it, he shouldn't have won it.
No. Let me see what year did he win it?
2000. What year did he?
2001.
No, he shouldn't have won it in
Somebody from Miami should have won it that year.
Yeah. He won that. That was strictly career, dude. He shouldn't have won that.
Which goes to my point with the Heisman. It picks and chooses who wins. It's like the Oscars when somebody has like the year Al Pacino won it for Son of a Woman, but he should have won it for Godfather 2. Leonardo DiCaprio won it for The Revenant, excuse me, but should have won it for Aviator or something else.
He definitely should have won it for Aviator.
Yep, and same thing with Will Smith. He should have won it for Ali instead of getting it for.
He definitely should have won it for Ali.
But King Richard his performance was compelling in King Richard. This will be a good Sunday topic right here, talking about Oscars and stuff. That'd be a good.
Yeah, that would be.
I think at the end of the day, when they come to the Heisman, Caleb Williams gonna win it. I think run-up gonna probably be C.J. Stroud and Max Duggan. Stetson Bennett gonna finish fourth. I don't see Stetson Bennett having a shot at all to win it. Honestly.
I actually think you're right, but I actually think he may finish before Duggan. I can see it being a battle between Stroud and Williams because they put up video game numbers passing, and Williams was just one of the premier dual threat quarterback. It's going to be between them two. Stroud hurt himself, even though he passed for like 350, 370 yards against Ohio State. He looked shaky doing it. That's the only thing. That's the only knock I can see on Stroud because besides that Northwestern game, he put up amazing numbers.
Oh yeah, let me throw some more Heisman names in here from Blast from the Past. Eddie George in 95. Rashawn Salaam, 94.
Yeah.
Charlie Ward, 93, who didn't even get drafted by the NFL. He didn't get drafted. Gino Toretto, Desmond
91. Howard. Was Gino Toretto 91 or 90?
92. That's the year they lost. That's the year they got blasted by Alabama in the championship.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Not the championship game, the Sugar Bowl.
Sugar Bowl. That was the most dangerous Alabama team I remember.
Yeah, that team was there with Gene Stallings coaching them. Ooh.
Yeah, Anatole, Michigan and Georgia got the two best O-lines in college football. You right, outdated. Yeah.
Also, let me see. Just looking at this list: Vinny Testaverde, Tim Brown, Barry Sanders, Andre Ware.
Yeah, rushed for almost 2,700 yards.
Andre Ware, if he would have been drafted by a different team. I think Andre. Well, he played at Houston though, so that wasn't really a pro style offense. I don't think would have mattered where he would have got drafted at.
Corey, you're right, but I don't know if Blake Corum coming back. Corey, I think he's going to the pros.
He getting that money. He gonna get them checks.
He proved that he can be a bell cow. He proved that this year he could be a bell cow. He didn't take that helmet to the knee. Illinois, the boy probably have almost 1,900 yards rushing. Orenthal, Juice Simpson. Yeah, Anatole, you went back, damn boy.
Yeah, he won it in Orenthal, James Simpson won it in. I just had it up. 68. Jim Plunkett in 70. Johnny Rogers, John Capoletti. I don't know who that is. That's Child Molester U.
Griffin, Ohio State. What 2 years did he win it?
74, 75.
Got it. Okay, I knew it was in the 70s.
Yeah, Tony Dorsett, Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
Billy Sims, Charles White, George Rogers. If you go back to the 70s right here, Plunkett and Pat Sullivan were running quarterbacks. Then Johnny Rogers was a receiver for Nebraska.
Right.
How a Nebraska receiver won the Heisman. He must have had a hell of a year. Then you got running back.
Remember, Fade, the Big 8, the Big 10. All of them was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Mm-hmm. And if you put over 1,000 yards in those conferences, your Heisman was right there. It was a predominantly running school. That's why I'm saying now you got the dual threat quarterback, you got the tailback, you got, those type of players. And I'm wondering, it was just a question I had asked Mike, is it the last time we'll see a running back win a Heisman? But I mean, it could always go back. You never know. Everything have a circle of life.
It was 11 running backs in a row from 73 to 80 to 83.
I believe it. 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Then Doug Flutie won it. That's the year he had the Hail Mary against Miami.
Right.
Bo Jackson, Auburn, Vinny Testaverde, Tim Brown, Barry Sanders, of course.
That man wouldn't have messed his hip up. We'd be having him as one of the all-time great football players.
Probably one of the greatest baseball players too, just on a bad team.
Yeah.
Just look at these, going back, flashback on these names, man. Like, man, I forgot he wanted. Dang, he wanted to. Oh, yeah. Then you had a little you look at 94, 95, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 10 years, it was a non-quarterback won it between 2094 and 03, I believe. So you had that just lets you know the running backs is, unless you went to play Alabama, you're not going to win the Heisman as a running back unless you run for 2,500 yards.
Yeah. So that answers my question, basically.
And let me ask y'all this right quick before we get to our parting shots. Looking at this list right here, the one outlier right here to me on this Heisman list is Robert Griffin III and Johnny Manziel. Those two outliers. Those guys didn't have the best teams, but they had the best stats and had the most effect on their team winning games. If you look back at it now, do you think would you change your vote? If you were a voter, would you change somebody else to win in the Heisman?
Those years, they won it?
Yeah, Robert Griffin won in 11 and Manziel won in 12.
They had shining moments. Manziel utterly destroyed Bama, and he put up good stats for A&M. Didn't he go to A&M when he won it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he put up great stats for A&M, and they beat Bama. As far as Griffin go, he was one of the dual threat quarterbacks. And he put up great numbers in Baylor. So I don't know if I would take it from him. It's just sometimes Heisman don't mean that you're gonna go to the pros and show out. I mean, look at all the quarterbacks from Oklahoma that won it and turned out to be garbage.
Yeah. That year, RG won it. Andrew Luck was second, and then Trent Richardson was third.
Who was behind Manziel the year he won it?
Let me go back to him. Probably somebody for Alabama, probably. Yeah, that's the year they beat Notre Dame in the finals too. Manti Te'o.
Yeah.
Colin Klein was third. Marquise Lee from USC was fourth. Then Braxton Miller was fifth, and Jadeveon Clowney was sixth. Probably just Manziel, Te'o, Klein, and Lee were probably invited.
I remember Te'o being invited because he wore his what's his name?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. They had gave him so much love at Notre Dame. Got to the league, and they found out what I knew when he was playing at Notre Dame. He couldn't move sideline to sideline.
Yeah, it was just treated.
What was molasses when it came to that? He was great at the point of attack. He was a sure tackler. He was not sideline to sideline. He was awful.
Yeah, just looking at the top five, only 3 got invited that year because Colin Klein from Kansas State had 800 votes, total points, excuse me. So
Anatole just looked it up, Fade. Johnny Roger had 1,000 yards receiving. That's why he wanted. You know, Tom Osborne was a triple option guy. So when he that right there got him that 1,000 yards. That got him the Heisman right there.
Listen, welcome, ladies. Cheers once again.
And before we, like I said, one last step before we go. That's the year Derrick Henry won it. Christian McCaffrey was second.
Some of the action.
Both of them was dominant running backs.
Mm-hmm. And guess who was third and fourth that year?
What year was this?
2015.
Oh, that's a good one.
Watson and Mayfield were third and fourth.
Okay. I actually can see that. I can see that. Mike, what you watching? Maury Povich?
No, mess with these clothes, man. I ain't any clothes for tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, he got school in the morning.
Got school in the morning.
You got school in the morning. You got to go take care of the Nutter twins.
Evan and Eric Nutter.
Mike, what do you stand up on the desk and say?
I ain't gonna say that on the air. I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, somebody asked, didn't Kejana Carter win it? No, he was second to Rashawn Salam in 94.
Yeah, Kejana didn't win it that year. That's the year. Wasn't that the year Penn State went undefeated though?
Yeah, they're like 94.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rashawn Salam was first.
They
Kijana
actually
Carter
robbed
second.
him of that national title, bro.
Steve McNair and Kerry Collins round out the top 4 for Heisman. So and then you had Jay Barker from Alabama and Warren Sapp. And then
They did Penn State wrong that year, bro. They had a squad that year.
Wow.
Think about Auburn that year too. Auburn was undefeated. No, that's too. They were undefeated that year, but they was on probation.
Right.
So that's
Johnny Carter, Kerry Collins, and they had who was the receiver on that team? Because they had a good receiver on that.
Bobby Ingram. When did Bobby Ingram?
Yeah, I think it was Bobby Ingram. They had a squad. They had a squad that year, bro. Man.
Yeah, child molester you. and rape university.
Dude, here, man.
I mean, Joe Pop had it all. You want to get raped, but get your child molested. Go ahead and work at Penn State.
Oh man. Oh, wow. That's not gonna end good right there.
Not at all.
Hold on.
They just shot me a text message. That's just one strike, Fade. We ain't got no more.
Not gonna end good at all right there.
But it's true though. They when Joe Pop worked there, he let out on rape go. And Sandusky mess with the little boy. Yeah, he did.
They're gonna give you a probationary period.
Man.
That was just for men. They say we get it, we understand. Just tone it down.
Okay, cool. As long as we don't lose them, we can't
Make
afford
sure.
to lose any more sponsors.
They told me make sure I use a 3.8B next time. So
That works.
all right, let's get to the part shots. Go ahead, Damon.
I gave Harbaugh an apology last week. Now I'm gonna give a shout out to Max Duggan. The game he played, even though they lost, that dude has the heart of a lion. He fought tooth and nail, which I believe they should have just did a quarterback sneak in overtime, but I digress. He fought tooth and nail, got these boys down, scored a touchdown. He was so tired, he didn't even want to high five nobody. He's like, get me to the sideline. I'm beat. So I'm giving a shout out to Max Duggan, and we got to prepare for that dude, man, because he is not going to lay down, and neither is Texas Christian, because they've been doubted all this year. Now, I'm going to pick Michigan to win the game. I'm going to pick the fellas. I'm not counting TCU out because they take all the bulletin board material and they use it. Yeah, they was down, but they fought back. Most games that they was down, they fought back and they won them. So shout out to Max Duggan. We coming for you though, bro. We coming for you. We trying to get this natty. Might have to fight them Bulldogs, but we trying to get there.
Michael.
So this week is the Georgia High School Football State Championship, man. There's a lot of big games going down. But the problem with the Georgia High School Football Championships, the games are played at Georgia State, which is Center Park Stadium, the old Turner Field. Georgia High School Association, Atlanta Falcons, please move these games back indoors to the Dome. Every other state plays their games at Dome. Hell, Jerry Jones charges $1 for Texas to hold their high school football state championships at Jerry's World. We've got to get these games, Georgia High School Association, Arthur Blank, got to get them back to the Mercedes-Benz to have a better experience. The weather not going to be bad, but the weather not going to be great over these next 3 days. So Georgia High School Association, Arthur Blank, move the state championship back to the Dome.
Yeah, before I get to my part show, why did they even move them from the Dome?
Because the Dome, Mercedes-Benz charged Georgia High School Association like $500,000 to even have it at the Dome. So Georgia High School Association like, well, shoot, we'll go somewhere else. So that's how they moved it to Georgia State. They went to, today's stadium.
Yeah, you get it right because you want a neutral playing field where it's equitable for everybody to play. So what like if it would have snowed, none of the players would play in snow before, and that would have been unfair. There would have been an unfair disadvantage for both teams. But
Yep.
I don't know. My party shot. I know we talked about Deion Sunday, and folks still talking about Deion today. And Bomani Jones made a comment where, basically he understood the move, but I'm not even gonna talk about Bomani Jones. Anyway. If you still have a problem with Deion Sanders leaving the HBCU to take a $5 million job, you need to go kick rocks off a bridge on the Grand Canyon without no net or no harness. He started a trend where you saw African American ex-football players taking jobs at HBCUs. You had Eddie George at Tennessee State. Eddie George went to Ohio State. Shot said this other day. If you want equitability, or you want fair practice, or fair opportunity, or notoriety for your HBCU, take a shot on an ex-player to come back and give back to community, like Shot said. That's my first part of this party shot. My second party shot is Colorado. You are on the clock. My cousin said it the other day, Sunday. Colorado, you on the clock. Deion. Let me just preface what I'm about to say. Deion had to come out of his own pocket to buy those guys. He worked with Michael Strahan to get guys suits. He had to leverage his deal with Southwest Airlines for his players to catch flights. With the food the kids were eating that came out of Deion's pocket, Deion had to pay for his own staff. Deion paid for new facilities. That's what's reported. I don't see why that would be a lie. And whatever revenue they had, did it actually go to the football team to make the better? No. That's all. Jackson State on the clock, but I mean Colorado's on the clock. I'm gonna tell you why Colorado's on the clock. Colorado, you're on the clock. You had three. You've shown diversity with your hires from the last three coaches. You hired back-to-back African American male head coaches for this role. Mel Tucker, of course, went to Michigan State. Then you had the guy that got fired recently. What resources have you given them? What do your facilities look like? What is your culture and climate in your school? What are you going to do for Deion that you didn't do for Mel Tucker and the coach that just recently got fired from there? Now, Deion Sanders was supposed to hire Mike Zimmer as his defensive coordinator, so you know the defense is going to be strong in about a year or two. Transfer portal's wide open. I know Mike can't stand the transfer portal like we can't stand Albany State. But Deion needs the same opportunities and resources you gave Rick Neuheisel back in the 90s and 2000s and Gary Barnett. Give him a fairer shot than what you gave Mel Tucker and the previous coach for Deion to succeed. And by the way, Jackson State, you're back on the clock again. You need to go ahead and give Tyrone Poole a shot.
And I just want to clear something up since you're talking about that, man. Deion Sanders was big for Jackson State. Deion Sanders wasn't big for the totality of HBCU football. I mean, first of all, let's just be real about it. HBCU football have put a lot of players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You done had your Jerry Rice, your Walter Payton, your Steve McNair. You don't put these guys in, like you just mentioned, Tyrone Poole, a first rounder. So let's just be clear about it. Deion, what he did he did that for Jackson State and maybe the SWAC. But the whole HBCU as a whole, Fort Valley is still Fort Valley. Albany is still Albany. Only thing I want to say, man, because I went on the show Sunday, the only thing I want to say about this whole Deion Sanders thing is we talk about, and not throwing a shot at you, Faye, we've talked about diversity when it comes to we need more black guys on black play-by-play announcers or black guys in this role or that role. Deion, I think, is maybe the 5th or 6th black head coach in D1 right now. So this is major. Secondly, if we're going to be mad at Deion Sanders for leaving and making promises and all that, we need to jump on these kids that's in this transfer portal. We need to jump on these coaches that leave. Do y'all know that Scott Satterfield is leaving Louisville, going to Cincinnati, and they gonna play each other in the bowl game. That's crazy. He is leaving Louisville. I'm gonna repeat this now.
The GOAT
He's
just said
leaving
that.
Louisville, going to Cincinnati, and they gonna play each other in the bowl game.
I mean, that's valid. And then Jeff Brom, he took the job at Louisville.
Yeah.
So he leaving Purdue to go to Louisville. But that's his alma mater, though, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
so people are bashing Deion. He made promises and he did this and that. That's your job as a coach to his job at Jackson State was to root for Jackson State, the SWAC, and HBCU. When he leave, who wants to keep putting money out of it? I don't care how many millions Deion got. Who wants to keep putting money out of their own pocket to provide for this whole program?
Oh, that's facts. I agree with that.
Who wants to do that? Now I can go to a place where I got my salary. My coaches got their own salary. Now let's see what we do. Now the thing about it, Deion, you got to win. You done got to I don't want to necessarily say the mountaintop, because Colorado is by far, nowhere near one of the top 15 or 20 jobs in college football. But you done got to the D1 level. You've got to win now. You got 2 or 3 years to win at Colorado. And the thing about it, people talk about, Deion leaving. Jackson State, SWAC, and I'm asking Damon and Fade this. Jackson State, the SWAC, and HBCU football, now that Deion's gone, what's next? What do we need to do next at Jackson State with the SWAC?
I think Fave nailed
HBCU football.
Mike, I think Fave nailed it in his parting shots. Let's give one of these guys who went to a historical black college that played the league, give them a chance to coach. They need to, let's see what Tyrone Poole or
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, Jerry Rice, any of the guys that played at a HBCU, one of these head coaching jobs. And then I was listening to that final thought. He was spot on that, bro. I'm talking about his black thought was so freaking spot on it didn't make no sense. It's like we talk about HBCUs, but then you go run the coach at a predominantly white college. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Fade was saying. Why not just coach at your HBCUs and put them on the map? Deion got the #1 recruit, not in a state, in the country, to come to Jackson State. In the country. But here's my thing with Deion. Everybody mad he took the $5 million, this and that. I don't know too many coaches that didn't jump from one job to another to use it as a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
This job at Colorado, he's not staying at Colorado. If he can turn around Colorado, I guarantee you, if Florida State come calling, he gone.
They should have hired him for anyway.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, all the coaches, they use bridge jobs. I was telling Mike, Brian Kelly was here coaching the D2 powerhouse called Grand Valley State. Won national title after national title. He goes to Cincinnati. He won in Cincinnati. Take off to Notre Dame. 2 national title appearances. Or, then he go to LSU and take them to the SEC title game his first year. You the natural born winner, Urban Meyer. He went from job to job till he got to Ohio State. Florida, you know what I'm saying? Florida and Ohio State. They call bridges, man. You know what I'm saying?
Bowling Green, Utah to Florida to Ohio
State.
We're undefeated in Utah.
Deion and Mike brought up great points. Deion could be worth $5 billion. That don't mean he want to keep paying.
Yeah, bro. Who wants to keep paying for everything?
I mean, everything. Faith, you rolled it off. Food, facilities. That's coming out of his pocket. He negotiating with Southwest because that's his sponsor. He get money off them. Come on, man. Now you got your $5 million. You can go get whatever D coordinator or offensive coordinator, whatever hire you got, and still got your money. And you got big time. You got some alum that went to Colorado. You only got to spend all your money. That's cumbersome. And you got a coach. That's a lot.
I do think before we go, y'all, I know we kind of off task, but I do think one thing we got to do, and I think me and Faye discussed this on the show before. we have got to get out of the HBCU world, and we got to start making some noise on this FCS and D2 level as far as nationally. Like, could you imagine Jackson State with this 11-0 record, if they was able to go to the playoffs, what they could have possibly done? Can you picture that? If that man at Jackson State could have won a national title? You know how big that, now that right there would have been big for the whole culture of HBCU football.
Yeah.
These celebration bowls and the Southern Grambling game, I'm not against that. That's cool. But let's see if we can start competing nationally, man. Do y'all know, check this. A lot of people don't know this. We had one of the top 5 teams in all of D2 football this past year, HBCU, Benedict College. First round of the playoffs, they had a bye, they had a home game, and they were blown out by a school called Wingate. Now, when the last time you heard of a team being undefeated and they lose their first round game in a blowout? I mean, it happens, but a lot of people don't even know that. Benedict won the SIAC. They was the #1 seed because in Division II, you play your playoffs by your region.
By your
like
region.
they have a North, West, East, South.
Yeah.
They were the #1 team in the South. And if you think about the South in D2 football, bruh, you got Valdosta State, you got West Florida, which won a national championship about 2-3 years ago. You got your Delta States, your Carson Newmans, and Benedict was the #1 team in the South. Nobody knew that. Nobody had a clue about that. We got to figure out a way to get HBCU football on that level where, you know, we talking about winning championships, national championships. I think that'll change the mindset about HBCU because as a whole, only people gonna be watching this Celebration Bowl next Saturday is people like us that went to an HBCU or you want to watch the halftime show and watch the band. But nobody that went to a predominant white school, do y'all really think they're gonna turn in and watch the HBCU game, watch the Celebration Bowl? No. I mean, let's just be real about it. They not.
No, I agree.
That's not a bowl game that people gonna turn to watch. It's an HBCU bowl game. Yep. But I guarantee you will turn to watch if it was the FCS semifinals, Jackson State against North Dakota State. You'll watch that. Because we know North Dakota State is a FCS powerhouse, and that would have definitely been an intriguing matchup. Yeah, and I think Deion could have done something with that too, though, honestly.
Yeah, Corey brought up a good point. How do we get kids scheduled for that? Fort Valley used to schedule Valdosta State for 3-4 years. 3-4 years.
How do we get what?
How we get HBCU schools the opportunity to be scheduled to play those games on the schools on that level. Fort Valley used to play Valdosta State. They played them from 98 to 2001, 2002.
We played them in 94, 95 too.
Yeah, we played them for like on off for 10 years.
Because I definitely remember, and I don't know if Mike, you remember this. Remember when we got down there, Fabe, in 94, Fort Valley had the #1 defense in all of college football.
Yeah, Jimmy Reed, you had Tyrone Poole, all them boys, yeah.
Yeah, we had the number one defense in all of college football. I think we was only allowing 6 points a game that year. I think. Don't give me the line, but it was the #1 team. And Valdosta State, we went to them, and then they came to us because in 95 they destroyed us. But in 94, I think we beat them. And Fort Valley came up to Detroit and played. I forgot who they played in 94. So we can. You're right, Faye. We can schedule them because it's been done. We can schedule powerhouse schools because it's been done. It's just a matter of doing it. And I totally agree with Mike on that. That's how we got to be able to put them on the board. You know what I mean? People would love to see a FCS if Deion was coaching. They played North Dakota State and they mess around and beat North Dakota State. You know how much love Deion would have got then? And putting that type of school like Jackson State, a black college on the map for real.
But we can't go to the FCS playoffs because of the Southern Grambling game. Because the Southern Grambling game is played the week the playoffs start. Thanksgiving weekend, I think, is the weekend it started.
Yeah. I'm with you on that though, Mike. You brought up a great point.
That's it's tradition. We talked about it Sunday. There's a lot of tradition.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only thing. So that's going to hinder anybody like Dion. The last 2 years, he should have been playing in the playoffs, but you got if Grambling is and Southern's the game is deciding who's going to play them in their championship game. The only way to do that is you push that game up, but then you losing a whole lot of tradition, and then you get into the heart of the NFL schedule for that game because that game is too big to play at their home stadiums. So then you.
Well, why can't you play that game? I'm just curious. Why couldn't you play like the Southern Grambling game like Labor Day weekend? I mean, I'm just asking.
Yeah, that makes more sense because I mean the NFL don't kick off to that Thursday after Labor Day. That makes more sense there, and then you just got to sell it to the fan base and alumni. That's the thing. You got to sell it to them. Like let's say for instance Deion stayed in. I know we're running over y'all, but if Deion, let's say for instance they moved it to Labor Day weekend with all the college football. I would think that game would be just as big as Georgia playing Oregon.
Man, you put that game on that Sunday night, Southern and Grambling in New Orleans, Labor Day weekend. Oh my goodness. I saw you fake out. Good gracious.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Southern and Grambling, Sunday night, Labor Day weekend. No NFL football.
It would get the views.
You'll get the views, you'll get the fan base,
Yep.
You
alumni, you would get all that.
That's a prime.
I forgot, y'all. They play another game too. The Turkey Day Classic is Alabama State, and it used to be Alabama State and Tuskegee, but now I think it's like Alabama State and Arkansas Pine Bluff or something.
Somebody said that next year Tuskegee getting back in that game. I'm not sure, but I think it is Arkansas Pine Bluff, but I think they said Tuskegee gonna jump back in that game. The Turkey Day Classic. You're right, Mike.
I think now. Don't quote me on that.
No, I think you're right on that. But I believe I heard. I can't. Like I said, I might be wrong, but I think Tuskegee is gonna jump back in that game.
Yeah,
Corey said it. Corey said it. Yep, I knew I heard it. Corey said it.
Yeah, it's going. I mean, that's something they need to think about. I know they really don't come out with schedules until April, but some of these classics are playing in advance with a 2-3 year contract. I think
they pushed up Fort Valley's homecoming because we got in the classics. Wasn't that the reason why they pushed it up?
And the school don't really see none of that money as far as revenue and ticket sales or whatever. So that's to me that's a ripoff because
it don't make sense. If the school ain't gonna get some of the revenue, what's the point of playing it?
That's why I say the Fountain City Classic need to be home and home. It needs to be home and home. Columbus getting all that money. Fort Valley Albany ain't getting really none of that money. We spending more money than what we're probably getting for that.
Right.
Oh, they don't split the gate in them games?
I would hope they would, but I mean, when you think about it,
that's a travesty.
I think they do, but I don't think, to be honest with you, why not just let the school get the full gate and be done with it? You'll make a killing as far as revenue, as far as Perry, Warner Robins, and Fort Valley.
Yes, Lord.
In South parts are making with hotels, just hotel by itself.
That's so true.
But we went over, y'all, this great conversation. This is something we need to bring up on another episode talking about with HBCU football. We'll probably definitely need to bring this up on a Sunday or on Wednesday. But this is a conversation that's not going to end. I want to thank you for watching our show, Fort Valley Boys. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and you can follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. We out.